also works with this company called Aeryon Ashlie. She's a #1 best-selling author, a radio personality, and she's a true believer in holistic, intuitive approach. She is coming to you with Aeryon Wellness as a testament of her own successes and changes that she's made in her life, and that has got her to where she's here today. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome Aeryon Ashlie.
Hello. There we go. Hello. Before I get started, I want to thank Haley and Sarah and the other Haley and the whole team here, all of you guys for letting me come in and talk to you guys today. Is that better? There we go. Is that better? It's all right. There we go. For having me here tonight and sharing with you stress number solutions. So we're just going to get started. Oh, actually, do I have a clicker? Sorry. Is there a clicker? I didn't even check if there's a clicker. Is there a clicker? Sorry. So I don't really have to intro myself. She did a great job at that. So my name is Aeryon Ashlie. I have a wellness radio show I do every day down on the coast on Pulse 107.7 FM. My daughter and I have some cookbooks we've done together, which are one of the products available with purchase tonight. And then, of course, my book I did, Bulimia to Balance, last year in November, which hit #1. And more recently, I started my own supplement line called Aeryon Wellness, which is really based on my own experience with stress, which is why this conversation is really kind of near and dear to my heart, because it's all the stuff I've gone through. It doesn't work? Okay, all right. Well, we're halfway there. We got at least this. Switch sides. I'm going to switch sides. I'm going to go on this side so I can do the notes. There we go. And my most important job today is that of my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter, Michaela. So, tonight we're talking about stress. Anybody here ever been stressed, felt stressed, a little bit of stress, just a smidge? I think we can all relate. And more so, I think we can all relate to this little cat here. I don't know what this cat is going through, but I can relate. I think we've all had moments like that in our lives where we're just super, super stressed. And in fact, if we look at the stats right now, 64% of adults report work-related stress, 64% stress about money, 63% about health concerns, and 48% about the economy. And what's even more alarming is that in September, which is why I call it Stress-tember, 90% of the population experience stress. And some of these reasons can be, of course, back to work, back to school, shorter days. You know, the weather's changing. Our next real holiday isn't until December, which seems so long away. Maybe you did not have a very good summer. You didn't get to do all the things you wanted to do. So it's a real heavy-duty time for stress. And even more so as well with sleep. Because additionally, 72% believe that sleep has affected their stress during this time, right? So, and stress and sleep, of course, are very intertwined. And we're going to kind of go into how stress starts. So stress starts with the hypothalamus, right? And that controls your body's hormones and it responds to internal and external conditions. And so under stress, the hypothalamus notifies the pituitary gland, which tells the adrenals to release cortisol, right? So cortisol is known as our stress hormone. Now cortisol, during times of stress, increases your heart rate, right? It shuts down your digestion and reproduction as well. So we all know those moments when all of a sudden you're super scared or something's happened. Like for instance, I guarantee you right there, he has experienced probably a serious release of cortisol, right? So he's experiencing, as we know, acute cortisol, right? So that's really fast, instantaneous. Let's say you lose your kid in the mall, like I've done, right? Instantly, my heart rate jumps, my blood pressure goes through the roof, I go into that panic moment. I guarantee you at that moment, my reproductive system and my digestive system has shut down completely, right? But what we're actually more concerned about is chronic stress, that underlying, always going on stress, which is what we're actually really struggling with a lot of the time. And so with chronic stress, we're constantly pumping out cortisol, which is going to affect our digestive system and our reproductive system and so many other issues. And that's one of the reasons we're talking about stress tonight. So stress affects the body. I mean, there's a whole host of things here, right? So you got the brain, difficulty concentrating, cardiovascular, high blood pressure, increased risk of heart disease and stroke, joints and muscles, increased inflammation, immune system. You got your decrease in your libido. You got your gut health is really compromised as well at that point in time. And then also skin, whether or not you're losing your hair or your skin is very dry, your nails are brittle. So all these different things can happen when you're actually experiencing high stress. And of course, stress as well, as I said before, affects your sleep. So how it really affects your sleep is in the morning when you wake up, your cortisol is at the highest. So it's actually at that time you probably really don't need a coffee, but we tend to drink coffee anyways. And it goes down throughout the course of the day. And in that time at night, then your melatonin picks up, and that's when you go to sleep. However, when you're constantly pumping out cortisol, your rhythm gets messed up. So then what happens is it goes up, it drops, and it goes back up, and you're laying in bed, awake before you go to sleep, and you can't sleep, right? And then your melatonin's not kicking in, so you're ending up in this whole circle of stress and cortisol. And that's kind of, well, I'll go into this, right? So in the impacts, of course, I think we've all been tired at one time or another. I think everybody here can probably resonate with being exhausted at work, can't really think straight, right? Poor cognitive, poor mood, increased sickness, inability to make decisions, a whole host of things that happen when we're not sleeping effectively. And the reason this is all kind of really near and dear to me is because this is kind of some of the issues I was really experiencing myself. I was experiencing really severe weight gain, low libido. I was quite depressed to a certain degree. I had insomnia. I had low energy. 3 o'clock, I'd crash so hard I couldn't even manage to wake up. I had cravings, low blood sugar, anxiety, my hair was falling out. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on as well. So that's why this is a really important topic to myself, and one of the reasons why the first 2 products we made was a sleep and a stress product. So the 3 things I'm going to kind of be talking about in this talk, I'm going to go into mindfulness first off, then I'm going to go into nutrition, and then talk a little bit about supplementation. And the reason I'm going to go into mindfulness, because if you think about it, stress really starts with what we're thinking. I really believe everything starts with what we're thinking. Our brain is our most powerful muscle. And it's like when you have somebody who wants to lose weight or get healthier, it's not just take a product. It's you really have to start shifting your lifestyle. And essentially you really have to start shifting how your mind works and how your mind's thinking. You know, we can be mindful or we can be mindful and present to what's going on. And a big part of that is cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't know if anybody's heard of cognitive behavioral therapy. Your thoughts create your feelings, create your actions. So it's very important to catch ourselves with our thoughts, especially if we start going down that rabbit hole. It's really easy to do, right? I still catch myself quite a bit, and I still have to kind of constantly pick myself out from it, right? And tools I've used are cognitive behavioral therapy, where I recognize it, I identify that negative self-talk, I see it for what it is. A lot of the time, we can really kind of get into a certain thought and think that it's going to take over our whole entire life or a day, a negative thought. To get really present, I give myself a stress time out, and I replace things with a positive. That's always been something else. And breath work, in for 6, out for 6. Taking some time to really get connected to my body, and then also talking to a friend. So I think, as much as I love talking about nutrition, it's always really important to kind of start with this, because this is a really big part of stress and stress support for yourself. And a big thing is changing your language. Not only your language and the conversations you're having in your head, but the language you're having and the conversations you're having with others, right? The words you're using to describe certain situations, the words you're using how to describe yourself. You know, I look at this and it's, I'm so stressed, right? So when you say I'm so stressed, you think about how you say that, right? Or I'm so sad, or the energy that's behind those words are very different than the energy of, I'm so excited, right? Like you instantly kind of perk up. And I was reading one study where they actually had the people to switch the language. The minute you start to say, I'm so stressed, you switch to, I'm so excited, because you can't be like, I'm so excited. You know, so really starting to pay attention to your words, because your words have power, right? So that's a big part of, I find, a big part of stress relief is also really starting tuning within to what's going on in your mind. And then we have this too, a mindful snack. So stop whatever you're doing and get a little present. Notice what's happening around you. Accept it, because sometimes things just happen and it's beyond our control, right? Get curious, ground yourself in questions about the environment. What am I feeling? What do I need to do right now? Talk to somebody, that's always something really good. And respond to yourself and others with kindness. We tend to be so hard on ourselves. So really start being a little kinder to ourselves is really important with stress relief as well. And then as we get into mindfulness, and I'm kind of segueing a bit, but I tended, is anybody here, I was an emotional eater, so I tend to emotionally eat. So really started bringing attention to how I would stress eat, right? How I would binge, how I would crave things because I was stressed, and that was my outlet. So I had to start getting really present with that, and that's something I've really practiced with my daughter, is mindful eating, right? Chewing your food a little bit more, having conversations about how that food tastes, you know, really getting present with it. Brian, you can probably start cooking up okay, I have something for you guys to eat, so give me the cue. So really start getting present when we're eating the food, sitting with others, taking that time, all those different tools and techniques using to get mindful with your food, mindful with what you're eating, listening to your body when you're hungry. I think all of that stuff really kind of connects with stress and how our body reacts to stress. And so that's going to segue us to nutrition, which is another key component of stress. One of the biggest things I've done to help relieve stress is my weekly meal plan. I don't know, does anybody here prepare food for the week or do freezer meals? Yeah. So in that, not only does it give you an opportunity to kind of plan ahead, there's certain days that I have my daughter and we have activities after school that I know I have to have things ready, right? So what I do on Sunday, I do these freezer meals. They're awesome. They're so simple to do. You guys are going to be trying one of the recipes. I basically put everything in the freezer bag, zip it up. It literally takes me like not even 5 minutes to do a recipe. The meat I freeze separately, throw it in my crock pot in the morning with some chicken broth. I come back and it's ready to go, right? So really planning ahead and thinking how I can start utilizing food and utilizing my time more efficiently so I can relieve a little bit stress in that way, right? So I always think of what days do I need the prepared meals. I jot down some ideas. I ask my daughter what she'd like to eat as well. I get her involved in that. We buy the ingredients together and then we actually cook them together at the same time. And with that, so this is a little picture of that, sorry. So this is some of the freezer meals and then prepping the meals like that, right? So having things allotted. But the nice thing about that too, especially if you're doing individual ones, is you begin to have an idea of what a serving is, right? If you are a person who stress eats, this is going to give you a chance to really look at what you're supposed to have. I mean, we have our measuring cups in our hands, right? So the lean protein is a serving of the palm. A vegetable is 2 fists, fat's a thumb, and a cup of carbs is one. A cup of carbs is right? So with preparing meals, it also gives you an opportunity to really take a look at how much you're supposed to be eating as well, so you're not going to overeat or stress eat. And then we move more into supportive foods. So if you are somebody who is stressed or experiencing stress, these are some really great foods that help reduce stress. We've got antioxidants, of course, in green tea. You've got your banana with your potassium and your minerals, your spinach, your broccoli, your salmon, your blueberries. All of these different foods are all wonderful foods to help you support your body with stress. And the most important one, and one of my favorites, are superfoods. So superfoods are nutrient-dense foods. They have the antioxidants, the polyphenols, the vitamins, the minerals, so deep, dark, beautiful fruits and vegetables like the kales and the spirulina and chlorella, blueberries, kale. I love all these different superfoods. It's actually going to help your body prevent or fight against free radical damage. So what are free radicals? So free radicals come from stress. That's one of them, right? You've got pollution, you've got poor diet, you've got the sun rays. And what they basically do is they kind of attack the cells. So by giving your body antioxidants, by having these really rich superfoods, it protects the cells. And how it does that is basically antioxidants lessen the effect by donating electrons, right? So you have the antioxidant and it's helping out the free, gets rid of, neutralizes it, so it's not going to affect your body as much. And some of my favorite superfoods, I'm going to go into this, he should be coming back any second now. We got the chili. Oh, no, 2 minutes? Okay. All right, I'll keep going. Okay, so one of my favorites is I make a turmeric vegetarian chili. So I'm showing different ways in which you can actually incorporate these superfoods, these rich antioxidant foods that are going to help protect your body from oxidative stress into your day-to-day. And the benefits of turmeric, they fight inflammation, improves arthritis, it helps boost skin health, helps manage diabetes, it's a natural pain reliever. Does anybody here take turmeric or use turmeric? How do you like it? Yeah? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Be careful with your fingers though. Cinnamon too? I find my fingers are super yellow if I ever get a chance to get on there. Yeah. Yeah. And so the Prairie Natural one, the one I use in the recipe I'm going to be serving out tonight, is organic, it's non-GMO, but the nice thing about that as well is actually fermented. So fermented means it's going to be more biologically available for your body, right? So your body's going to be able to absorb better, it's a higher grade. And so he's coming with my vegan, okay, I'll keep going. And then the next one you're going to try after this one is a superfood smoothie. And so this is where I'm using spirulina in this one. This one comes from my cookbook, Smoothie with a Fast-Paced Mom. Smoothie for a Fast-Paced Mom. So it's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. It's a fatigue fighter. I mean, liver detox. I mean, look at all of these different wonderful qualities that spirulina is going to give to you. And that's something else, and one of my favorite superfoods that I end up adding to my day-to-day as well to help with my stress levels. And my daughter eats it too when I mix it into the smoothie like I did tonight. So we're going to be using the Prairie Natural one as well. Prairie Natural is a local company. It's from BC, and so I've been here about 25 years now. And I align myself with them just because I really value the food, the products or the ingredients and supplements they have, and also the superfoods they have. So there's no artificial colors or flavors. Tonight in the one recipe we're using a bit of collagen. I've got some whey protein in there. We put blueberries, we have spirulina in there. It's a really tasty smoothie, so you'll try that one as well. So he's got the vegan, and then he also has the spirulina. So he'll serve that too, and I'll just kind of keep going. So what I'm going to touch on next is adaptogens, and this is kind of where what I started to use. Here he comes with it. Adaptogens. So adaptogens are herbs, and what they actually do is they help your body with stress, physical, emotional, mental. And I found for myself, I would start to use different adaptogens when I began to go through my process of healing my adrenals myself. And I found a lot of the ones out there. I still experience this 3 o'clock crash. It's herbs, so it's different herbs. Yeah. And so when I began to tinker a little bit and put them all together, then we came up with 2 of the products that we used. But some of the things I was dealing with adrenal fatigue was low energy, I had anxiety, as I said before, low libido. All of these different symptoms really tend to be symptoms from adrenal fatigue, stress-related issues. So if you're experiencing some of these, it's really either good to start taking some superfoods, start really looking at the way you're thinking, and then maybe, if you need to, then you can start looking at some of the adaptogens you can take to help your body deal with stress. So the first product we came out with was Restore. And I'll go through the ingredient panel just to let you guys know what's in it. We put Chinese hawthorn in it. So Chinese hawthorn is known as a heart tonic. It helps with stress-induced depression. That's the claim we're using for this one. It helps in digestion. In China, it's used actually as a digestive aid after they eat. So it helps with that. It's a powerful antioxidant as well. And that was our first ingredient we put into Restore. The next we used was KSM 66 ashwagandha. So ashwagandha, you want to have the root, because a lot of the time they use the stem and the root, and your body doesn't absorb the stem. So you really want the root. That's where all the power is. That's where the cortisol balancing, all the different properties here come from, is the root, right? So it helps with hormonal balance, sexual health, increases testosterone. It's an amazing product. And with KSM, the reason we chose that one is because it is the root. It has the highest percentage of organothials, which is the way the flavonoids that give it the power. And also has the highest number of certifications. There's a whole other list of things that this certain ingredient has. And we also use green chemistry, so there's no alcohol or solvents used in this property, So that's the vegan chili, the vegan turmeric chili. So you can taste, I have the turmeric in there. You have the recipe card on your seat, so you can take a look at what the ingredients are in there. I did add corn to it, was a little extra. But you can add as many different vegetables as you want to this. And this was just made in a slow cooker, and it's made in one of my easy, quick freezer meals. So not only kind of relieve the stress of having to cook the meal, but help your body, support your body with stress as well by having turmeric in there too. Okay? Is okay? Do you like it? Is it good? Just say yes and smile. Just say yes and smile. Yeah.
With the ashwagandha, since it lowers cortisol, which is great if your cortisol is like super high, but what if you're in the adrenal stage where your cortisol is like bottomed out? Is that counter?
Well, I know that ashwagandha can help with either way too, though, right? So it does help neutralize, it does help balance your adrenals. So I know that with a different thing, you might want to actually even talk to your naturopath as well and see if he has something else he might suggest. But I do know that ashwagandha does help with both ways, right? So yeah, there's turmeric in there. There's a little bit of curry in there, a little bit of turmeric. The recipe cards are on there. Look at cumin. You got all your vegetables in there. Is it good? Is it all right? Okay, good. I made it yesterday. Good, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so that's one of the ways that you can actually prepare a nice meal with some turmeric in there. Relieve another way of stress by having your meals pre-cooked, right? So we're going kind of back and forth, but that's okay. Okay, so the next ingredient we put in there was bacopa, and this is a little different. And the reason I asked to have bacopa put in this was because bacopa helps with cognitive benefits. So I always found that when I was taking other adrenal products, I still had that 3 o'clock crash really badly. I couldn't manage to wake up. And bacopa, it takes about 20 minutes to kick in. But all of a sudden I felt really clear and really cognitive. And that's been one of the greatest things about this one. It helps with ADHD, It helps with restlessness. They've actually seen improvements with seizures in people with epilepsy. That's not the intention with this product, but it really is quite an incredible product. Well, with medication, I'd want you to talk to your doctor first, right? And make sure that there's nothing contraindicated to. Yeah. Pardon me? I would say no to kids. No, we have a disclaimer on here that says about 18 or older. I'd say 18. 18, yeah. I mean, yeah. So then next we put astragalus in there too. So astragalus helps the immune system, helps your body tolerate stress, also helps lower blood pressure as well. And in China, it's kind of interesting. This is the #1 prescribed herb in China for type 2 diabetes, which is kind of interesting. So there's a lot of really great functions in here. It helps with blood sugar. And then Shishandra, of course. So it lowers inflammation. It's going to help with the adrenal glands, nurturing them. It's going to help fight free radical damage. So the whole idea behind this whole product, forgot the last one, B5. So we put B5 in as well. It's known as an anti-stress vitamin. So it helps break your protein, fats, and carbs down into energy. Now look at this. So the whole idea behind Restore was really not only boost your adrenal health, but give you energy, give you clarity. It's an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, because as we heard, when you're stressed, your body's going to be more inflamed. So it's going to help prevent that, along with your superfoods and along with your other mindful practices. It's a brain booster. And Chinese Hawthorne's also using weight maintenance as well. So it's got some really kind of cool factors to it. And then I began to look at sleep. So I began to look at having something for the daytime for my stress and the nighttime for my stress, because I was still waking up in the middle of the night. I tend to still wake up at 3 in the morning. It's just, I go to the washroom. It's just the way it is. I wake up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I couldn't get back to sleep because my mind started going, right? And so I would, some of the tips we can do is we increase light during the day, because that's going to help increase melatonin, right? You reduce blue light at night, so the blue blockers, and of course try not to watch TV, no caffeine late in the day, so all these different things you can do. And at the end you can start trying some supplements as well. And that's kind of where we came with snooze. Now I wanted something with snooze that if I took it at 3 in the morning, I didn't have a really bad sleep hangover. I could still get up, go to the gym, function, handle my daughter, and I found if I took melatonin, I had a real struggle with that. I really had this weird hazy kind of sleep hangover. So we chose not to put melatonin in it, but we use the Hawthorne again, as I said before. So we use this one and this one too. Of course, it's a heart tonic, helps with stress and anxiety as well. And then we put valerian. So valerian is known as nature's Valium, right? It's going to put you in that really nice, rested state. The only person I would suggest who does not want to take valerian would be somebody on any anti-anxiety medication. It will actually have the kind of counteractive effects. You'll be up all night long, so that's not something you want to take if that is something that you're on. It helps with cognitive function, so it's going to really help put you into that state of relaxation, get you ready to sleep for the night. We put L-theanine in there, right? So L-theanine comes from green tea and some of the mushrooms we have, but it's going to help with stress and anxiety, get you that deep sleep, that nice deep REM sleep where your body's going to be able to recover, helps with your cortisol levels. And passion flower used in anxiety treatments as well. It's a muscle relaxant, it boosts your GABA levels in the brain, and it helps alleviate hot flashes as well at night. It's known for that one, and night sweats. And then GABA. We put 75 milligrams of GABA in here. We didn't put a lot because the study we're using behind using 75 to 100 is a stress-related study. So it's used in this product more so to help with stress. So it helps improve your mood, it's helping with healthy hormone production, helps actually use it for treatment of ADHD, not at this dosage, but they still use it for that as well. And then magnesium. So magnesium glycerate. So you've got, it can bring that calm, rested state. It's going to help regulate your melatonin. It's going to help with serotonin. It's going to balance your mood. So all of these kind of together, the whole idea behind this whole combination was to help get you into that deep REM sleep, give you the extra sleep you need, help with anti-anxiety, help anti-stress, antioxidant, muscle relaxant. We've had some really neat feedback with people with restless leg syndrome who've been taking this, and one of the ladies said it's the only thing that's ever worked for her. Restless leg syndrome, when you twitch your legs at night, she said it's the only thing that's ever worked for her, which has been really neat feedback. And one of the reasons I like this product is if you are somebody who has a hard time falling asleep, then it's great to take. But if you are somebody who can get to sleep easy, I can always get to sleep easy. It's that 3 o'clock that I wake up. I wake up at 3, roll over, take it, go to bed, go to the bathroom, come back, and I sleep, and I'm still up at 6. So it really has, it's nice that it has those two kind of versatile different uses. It's not going to knock you out. That's not the point behind it. It's really about trying to help heal your body and heal your cortisol and balance you out. So that's what we really tried to work for with doing these two. So as I said, it's all natural, it's non-GMO, it's a vegan, 1 a day. So we have adrenal, cognitive, immune, and sleep support. kind of all wrapped in these 2 products. Another thing with these products is a portion of the proceeds all go to the Eastside Women's Shelter. I spent a little bit of time at a rough stage in my life when I was a young girl, and had there not been organizations like this that work with young women, and I think if I can try to help people with stress that they're going through in their day-to-day life, then I can take some of that and help women in stressful situations as well. So a portion of every bottle goes to the Eastside Women's Shelter, which is a really cool grassroots organization down in Vancouver. So kind of like says, we start wrapping it up here. You know, when life is stressful, you can do something to lift your spirits. Go for a drive, go 2,000-3,000 miles, and maybe change your name. So the intention with that is not to do that, obviously. We want to learn how to handle our stress a little bit better. I know some days I feel like running away myself. And some of the takeaways we can learn is, number one, we have to be mindful with our thoughts, right? I think you can take all the supplements in the world, as I said, but if you're not connecting to what you're taking, you're just going to be taking a bunch of supplements and you're still going to be thinking stressful thoughts. It's not going to work. You really have to start really practicing some stress relieving techniques within your mind and with your thoughts and with your actions and how you're actually participating day to day. You can reduce stress by planning your meals ahead, writing lists. I'm a big list writer, whether it be your meals or your day to day. Adding superfoods for stress support as well, for oxidative stress support, that's really super, and really great. Sorry. And then of course, if you need to, you can add products like Restore and Snooze for daytime or nighttime support as well, to actually help your body get to the point you wanted to get to. So tonight we have a couple different offers. With Prairie Natural, you buy any Prairie Naturals and fish oils and all sorts of stuff. So you buy any Prairie Natural product, you get a free enzyme force, digestive enzymes, of course enzymes. Oh, you have the smoothie. You guys haven't tried the superfood smoothie. Okay. This is the Superwoman smoothie. It's actually in the one of the cookbooks I have. And that has the spirulina in it. So of course, gut health, as I mentioned before, is really important with stress. So that's one of the reasons why we're giving a free enzyme force away with that, with the purchase of Prairie Naturals. That's a $10 value. You buy any one of my products, the Restore or the Snooze, you get a free cookbook. I have the slow cooker book and I have the smoothie book as well. It tastes really green, doesn't it? It tastes the spirulina in there. Don't you feel just healthy just drinking that? Right, so then we have the superfood book, the smoothie book free with a purchase. If you buy any 4 items, you're gonna get the enzyme force, the book, and you get a free shaker cup as well. So we have all those different items for free for if you decide to purchase today. And then last but not least, if you'd like to stalk me on any different channel, I'm on Instagram and social media and all the different avenues you can find. You can also find me at Aeryon Wellness as well, which is the company that we've designed together, or we've designed. You should have all of that. You should have all the printouts. Yeah, that should all be on there. Well, it's on the little card. And then each of you got a recipe card. You also have the Superfoods cookbook from Prairie Naturals, which is really great. Then you also have a Restore and Snooze sample on either side. I give those to you guys as well. And then I think we have to do the draw. Has everybody entered the draw? Oh, hold on. It's a pretty good gift basket, so you definitely want to put your ballot in. So how'd you find the smoothie? Was it a little green? Did you? Okay, good. Too green for you? Just think of how healthy you are now drinking that. I'm a big smoothie fan. Does everybody else here have smoothies during the day? Does everybody drink smoothies? Yeah? Avid smoothie drinkers? Okay.
What's your favorite vegan protein powder?
I like hemp. I don't mind hemp. Brown rice I find a little good. Yellow pea protein bothers my stomach. I can't do the yellow pea protein because it does bother my stomach. There's a lot of combinations I really like out there too, but I do like the hemp one as well. But I'm a big whey fan. Yeah, I've always drank whey, so I'm big. Yeah, I love the whey. Oh, I get to be the banana white. I should do the banana white. All right, here we go. Tyson Tyson? Okay, I was gonna say, it looks like a younger person wrote this. Good job, Tyson. Congrats. Look at the gift basket you get. Yeah, I think the Restore and Snooze might be a little too old for him, but that's okay. See, now aren't you glad you came to my talk, Tyson? He probably complained the whole way here. I didn't want to go to this. Why? There we go, congratulations. So if I can take questions if anybody has any questions, and I'm also up here too, so if anybody wants to come up and kind of talk one-on-one, I'm more than willing to talk one-on-one. Anybody got any questions? No? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I know it's a busy time of year right now, so I really appreciate you all taking the time and being here. And thank you to Nature's Fair for letting me come here tonight and talk. And that's it.